Being born in 1993, I have never not had technology in my life. My house had TVs in it, and also we had a computer. But the coolest piece of technology that I was able to play with was my dad's Palm Pilot. It had a touchscreen on it, and I remember thinking to myself while playing the video game Doom, man, that would be crazy if everything had a touchscreen on it. Going into this project, I wanted to learn more about generation gaps in technology. And with that, I interviewed my whole family, including my sister, my dad, my mom, and my grandma. Where do you go to school and what do you do?
I go to North Dakota State University, and I am a master's student studying cereal science, which is the study of cereal crops, including wheat, corn, barley, and lentils and chickpeas are included in that as well.
How often do you use technology?
I use technology every day because all the tests that we run, whether it be analysis to see what's in a sample or extractions or purifications, those all require technology. Some of it's simple, like boiling a sample with water, but then it all goes all the way up to gas chromatography or NMR.
How do you use technology, like after class?
Yeah, so I use a cell phone and a laptop computer outside of work, mostly to connect with friends or to watch Netflix. I'm not on a lot of social media networks because I think it's a waste of time. But I email and I use LinkedIn are the most common ways. And then texting is pretty common. But other than that, I like to do things that aren't with like technology or computers because I like to hang out with people and enjoy the relationships. So I spend a lot of time just hanging out with people, going shooting or like going out to eat or going to the mall. Fargo's not super crazy with things to do, but we have fun.
Cool. And you mentioned to me earlier that you don't really enjoy technology. You think it's annoying?
Yeah, it's annoying because a lot of people get tied to computers or phones, or they feel like they need to have their cell phone around and it's always buzzing, or you're in a conversation with someone and they're texting instead of talking to you. It's just a hindrance to actually having relationships, I think. And a lot of it's a waste of time because you can like look on the internet for stuff that you either don't need to buy or you're on Pinterest or something just wasting time when you could be using that to build up a relationship or go meet new people or do something like you like to do outside.
Do you think your handwriting has suffered because you haven't been writing?
Oh, significantly. I only write 2 times a week, and that's in my Gospel of John class.
How has the internet changed like how you use computers?
Well, everything progresses so quickly. Technology is always advancing, and I remember when I had my first iPhone. It was an iPhone 4.
How has having a smartphone changed how you hang out with your friends?
Well, I like talking to people, and it seems like whenever I sit down at the lunch table or dinner or we're going out to eat or something like that, it seems like the first thing people do is pull out their phone and open an app or Facebook or whatever they're doing, and then they're just nose deep.
I work for Minnetonka Explorers Club preschool. We didn't use technology. We used all paper. We didn't use walkie-talkies or smart boards or iPads. And now we use walkie-talkies that all the teachers wear. We're all hooked up together in case we need to talk to someone. We can call them on the walkie. We use computers and smartboards for kids to learn how to use technology and to read and stuff on the smartboard. When we read books and do activities, the kids can participate that way. It's easier for them to tap on the smartboard to select a letter of the week or something like that.
And do they like that?
Yeah. Kids like anything that's digital. A lot of kids are starting to not like books.
My name is Dwayne Anderson.
And what do you do?
I am a software developer at United Health Group. I work for Optum IT.
And for people who don't speak your language, what is that?
I use a computer every day to give computer instructions so that we can create an environment to sell products. For example, the software that I write allows the user to create like a product that may have a $5,000 deductible or a $2,000 deductible, has all kinds of data about the medical plans. So we create the medical insurance products.
And do you guys only have employees in America, in the USA, or?
Nope. Our team has some offshore. We use India and we use the Philippines for offshore.
And how do you talk to them?
We use a lot of WebEx, which is over the internet. You have a computer that's presenting material, and then everyone else in their computers is reading it at the same time, and then a telephone conference call usually associates with that. So computer conferencing. So I started when I was in college. I took programming classes, microprocessors and some other languages that nobody uses anymore, Pascal and Fortran and those kinds of things. And then and during college, actually, I worked at a computer store selling computers. I sold Apple IIs, Macintosh, and IBM PCs, and laptops and things like that, printers, accessories. And so it started around in the time when I was in college. That was when my dad got an Apple II, and so I started working with him also at the same time as I was selling stuff. I was working for my dad, who had a realty company, who was managing paybacks on contract for deeds, things like that. So I built a database program that we managed thousands of records. I know it sounds kind of funny because it's only thousands, but I did it with 2 floppy disk system. I worked on a couple interesting ones. I was a CIA contractor, technically.
Can you say that on camera? Will
Yeah,
I come find you?
but you never know. I worked on a program that the spies or agents used to learn Russian, and so it was an interactive learning thing where they would click on menus and you'd see a picture and you'd hear the pronunciation and you'd see the word in Russian, so you could navigate the subway or read a menu or things like that. It was sort of a beginner one.
What do you think this is?
Here.
I haven't a clue. Well, I just wrote them down helter-skelter, the way that we talked about some of them. I was thinking one of the big changes and improvements in it and food preservatives. But it's still the same. They freeze it and we find it in our freezers, but it isn't frozen the same as it was years ago. Instead of that, they add things to it to enhance the color or the flavor or make it prettier or more attractive. And our medicines have changed, like blood thinners. Instead of people having strokes and things like that, blood clots, they give additives to our blood and then it thins it out so we don't have to go through that. And then there have been big scientific changes in the way that we study scientific concepts, like going up to the moon or around the world, which we didn't even have the math or the know-how before, but now we can. And then there's a big emphasis on entertainment now. And that bugs me because I like informative programs on TV.
Remember when we were talking about some of like the technology that was advancing when you were a kid, and you were talking about the gasoline stove
That blew up?
and then it blew up?
That wasn't so perfect.
General David Sarnoff made this statement when accepting an honorary degree from the University of Notre Dame. We are too prone to make technological instruments the scapegoats for the sins of those who wield them. The products of modern science are not in themselves good or bad. It is the way they are used that determines their value. I believe this also. Some of us use technology in different ways, for good or for bad, but it just depends on how you use it.